Hello.
Hello.
Welcome back to And That's What You Missed on Glee.
Season
I have just gotten an email today that we have 25 podcast downloads from Buzzsprout, which I don't know how many we have on Spotify, but Buzzsprout, 25 lovely listeners.
Feels like a lot to me.
It is kind of a lot.
Because our podcast is like an hour long. Big hour.
I mean, I don't know if they listened to the whole thing.
But if, like, considering that they did, that's 25 hours of watch time.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, people of the world. That means
yes,
a lot
I think
to me.
we have a solid 15 subscribers on YouTube as well.
Love that. Fine.
I love all 15 of you. I think one of them is actually me, my YouTube channel.
That's
so, yeah, welcome back to And That's What You Missed on Glee. We're going to be talking about episode 4 of season 1 of Glee called Preggers. This is
so ready.
When the ball is going to start rolling. I'm very excited.
It sure is. Although I will say, watching this episode back, it was not as exciting as it was the first time through.
Same.
Did you have the same experience?
I had the same feeling because I could anticipate a lot of things. I'm sorry, just a second. It is very the outside looks wrong.
The outside looks wrong.
Well, it is much too cloudy for July.
Oh, okay.
I had a brief cloud or smoke moment, but I do believe it's just cloud.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay. It just looks a little too not blue, but I think we're fine because it doesn't smell bad. So we're chilling.
Okay.
I was gonna be like, can we record this when there's not a fire? But there's not a fire right now, so we're good. So when we talk about Preggers, I do agree that this time watching it, I was anticipating what was gonna happen because I already knew the storyline essentially, which we're gonna talk about. So everybody listening, we will fill you in for the people who don't actually watch the show, because there are people who don't watch the show but listen to us.
If you're one of those people, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I have questions. I have a lot of questions if you listen to this.
But I love you for it.
Oh, absolutely.
Don't get me wrong. But
I've been told that you and I have very soft voices and are very nice to listen to fall asleep.
That's very sweet.
Yes, which
I
part
want
of me
give
is
those people a hug.
Yes, there's part of me that's thank you. I'm so happy that my voice is soothing, but also am I boring or is my voice ASMR worthy?
This is them just telling us that we're super boring.
Yes,
it's you put me right to sleep. Oh, thanks.
Someone told me that they watch my YouTube videos to fall asleep, and I was like, thanks, maybe.
Should I be happy about that?
Yeah. I know that I have a chill thing going on, but I felt a little hurt, even though I know that's not what they meant. But all right, let's talk about Preggers.
Right.
Riley has a confession that she didn't take any notes.
Okay, just go ahead and out me to our 25-person audience. Okay, so this week has just been a little weird for me in terms of school and stuff. My life is irregular, but that's okay because I have decent memory and I remember I have a really interesting fact for this episode, and I think that it'll kind of redeem everything. It's a little dark, so prepare yourselves.
Okay, I am prepared. I also was not prepared for this episode. I do have notes. However, I just finished watching the episode less than an hour ago because I was going to watch it last night and I thought it's 10:30. I could watch this and take notes, or I could watch Avatar: The Last Airbender and not take notes. So I watched Avatar. I did make the right choice. I'm very happy that I watched it quickly today and took notes instead.
Good deal.
So, episode 4, Preggers, has my favorite opening so far.
Me too. We get introduced to 2 iconic characters for the first time.
Yes.
We get Kurt's dad and we get Brittany S. Pierce, who leads with a lie. She leads straight out the gates with a lie.
Yes. Brittany has her first named appearance in episode 4.
Mhm.
This scene starts off, our entire episode starts in Kurt's basement, it looks like.
It's his bedroom basement. He has like he's one of
Bedroom
those
basement. It's
teenagers that-
renovated.
Yeah, it's very modern.
Semi dance studio vibes.
Oh,
It
totally.
is
I didn't think about that.
shot in black and white.
Mhm.
And you've got Kurt leading the performance with Brittany and Tina as backup
Mhm.
for single ladies. They are not
Mhm.
actually singing this, they are just dancing to it.
Yeah.
Which is still amazing and iconic.
Oh, yes.
And so then Kurt's dad is named Bert.
So not
Kurt and
creative
Bert.
at all.
Kurt and Bert Hummel. And Kurt's dad he works on cars, I believe.
Yeah. He's like a typical American blue collar worker type
Yes.
guy, you know?
Yes.
Stereotypical.
Very
Ohio
traditional
guy.
man. And we know that Kurt's mom is not in the picture and that she's passed away.
Yes. Mhm.
And so, you know, being the time that it is, being Kurt's identity as a closeted gay man, he is a little anxious around his dad,
Right.
while still wearing sparkly feminine outfits.
I love it so much. It's
wonderful.
It's amazing.
So Kurt's dad comes downstairs after the single ladies performance that we get.
I thought it was in the middle of the performance. Isn't it in the middle?
Yes, he interrupts.
Okay. Yeah, because he like turns the music off.
Yes, because
They
it's
like
too
didn't
loud.
see him coming down. Like,
Yeah.
they're spacing the stairwell and they don't see him coming down the stairs.
They're just too into the music.
Yes.
So in like their conversation, Kurt tells his dad that the outfit that he's wearing, like the unitard, is something that athletes wear because it's moisture wicking. And all of the football players wear them.
Can you imagine?
Next, Brittany tells Bert that Kurt is on the football team and that he is the kicker, which is the smallest player on the field, which I'm also like, Brittany's paying attention during cheerleading.
Yes. Brittany's character is so unique. And like, although this isn't a very developed Brittany, this still contributes to the same thought that she is smart in her own way. Everyone thinks that she's dim. She is not. She is just like so soft.
Yes.
She is so soft, and it's like almost like she has this base of knowledge, like this huge bank of many thoughts. None of them connect, and they're based on no actual like framework of reality. So she's right.
Yeah.
Kurt is the smallest guy. He would be the kicker on the football team.
Yes.
But he's not on the football team.
No, but he's not. She's also being so sweet and trying to help him.
Yeah.
Like cover him for his dad.
Yeah.
Next, Bert asks Kurt, is one of these two girls your girlfriend? And they both kind of look at Kurt like, oh no, which of us are you gonna pick? And he slides over to Tina and he goes, smacks her on the butt and goes,
so aggressive.
It's like, we are, but I don't want anything exclusive right now or something like that.
And it's so forced. Like,
yes.
It's
and it just it not only does it like it looks forced, it sounds forced, but like on both sides, like Tina, I feel like, I don't know, it just felt all wrong. I've said many times that I think Tina definitely should have been in the LGBT community on this show.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. But
yes,
it's the most
so
iconic
good.
opening of any Glee episode.
Yeah. I think this is the only episode of Glee that I know the opening scene of is this one. And I remember it being, I couldn't remember if it was episode 3 or episode 4, but I knew like that it was in the early beginning. And I remember it so much because I think this is the first time that I ever saw a man on TV, or a boy, I guess, because he's in high school, dance like that, I guess. Like I had never seen someone kind of more feminine presenting as a man on TV, and it was very exciting for me.
Yes. Another cool thing about this scene, really, really quick, is that Heather Morris, who plays Brittany, is actually one of
you are
Beyonce's.
Obsessed with.
I am obsessed with. I'm in love with her, actually.
Yes.
She actually plays one of Beyonce's backup dancers in all of the live performances of Single Ladies up until this point. So when they were learning the song, Heather was just a teacher. Like, she was just on set to choreograph.
That's so cool.
And when they were rehearsing this number, she went and read for Ryan Murphy, who's the director of Glee, like one of the top executive people. And she got the part, so she got to be in this number. So they didn't have to train another dancer.
That's so cool. I didn't know that.
Oh, she's so great. If I can find any videos, like when I post the actual video podcast, if I can find videos of her dancing in the background, I'll put them in the description box.
That would be so cool. I definitely want to watch that. So after our iconic opening number, we go to the next scene, which is Will and Terry, and it starts off, we think that they're having some sexy times, but it turns out Kendra is coaching them for like a birthing class kind of thing with Kendra.
I didn't even think that's what they were implying.
Oh, that's what I immediately thought was happening.
Oh, no.
Yeah. My brain immediately went there. How did you miss that?
I didn't miss it. I don't think I missed it. My brain doesn't immediately.
Your brain's too sweet?
No, I don't think so. I think my brain is just like, it immediately assumes something drastically different than what's happening.
Yeah.
It never goes to the most obvious answer. Yeah. So I saw that and I was just like, is Terry in labor early? And then I realized she's not even pregnant. Anyway, so there's a lot to unpack.
My brain was like, the first time I saw it, because I was like, they're definitely going to make a joke about them, like it looking like they're having sex, but they aren't. And so yes, they are like practicing as if Terry is giving birth, which we obviously know she is not, because A, it's only been like 4 weeks. B, she's not actually pregnant.
Yeah.
So Kendra, who I'm so confused with Kendra's relationship. So is Kendra Terry's sister or sister-in-law?
I think she's Terry's sister, not much older, but like a few years older than Terry. And she has this very like alpha female archetype. And she's really something else, especially in the scene. Oh my God, she cracks me up because she's taken it upon herself to be their birthing coach. But Kendra has decided to do that for her family member, which is awkward. And all she's doing is yelling at Will.
She's had 3 kids or something that she feels like she's an expert.
Right.
My favorite thing that she says is, giving birth is no joke. You get poop all over your boots, which there's blood everywhere and you get poop all over your cowboy boots, which I have a lot of questions about what she is wearing while giving birth.
Right.
Yes. So what happens next is she suggests to Will to like massage Terry's stomach because it really helps like relax. And Terry obviously freaks out because it is a pillow under her stomach, right? It is like a fake bump.
Yeah.
And she tells Will that she's afraid that he's going to bruise the baby. And she asks him to go make her a BLT.
It's so specific.
And Kendra asks for a BLT. Hold the lettuce, hold the tomato.
I respect all food choices, but I can't imagine that a crunchy as bacon and bread sandwich toasted is delicious.
No.
What world is that? Like, also there's mayonnaise.
I feel like it would just, it's like, it feels like
just eat toast and bacon.
Yeah. That's essentially what it is, just with mayonnaise. And so right after Will leaves the room, which was Terry's goal, was for him to leave the room so she has long enough to talk to Kendra. And she tells Kendra that there is not a baby.
Yes.
She drops the bombshell.
And Kendra, like, at first kind of freaks out, and then Terry's like, I have to tell him. And then Kendra has this great line where she's like, what is it?
Dishonesty feeds
a marriage.
Yes.
Without it, it'll starve, or something like that.
Yes.
It's so dark. It makes you wonder, what kind of marriage does Kendra have?
Yeah, I want to show about Kendra's marriage. Well, there's also a point where Terry, she recognizes, she's like, Will's already got one foot out the door. This baby's the only thing keeping him. If I tell him, he's going to leave. And so Kendra, instead of being like, we should tell him, we should have a conversation, like explain what a hysterical pregnancy is, like talk about having another baby, she comes up with a solution. And her solution is not to tell Will, but to find a baby. So they are on the hunt for a baby.
Yes, keep that in mind.
Yes. Our next scene is the lunchroom where Ken and Emma are having lunch together because now they're now an item.
And they sure look like one.
Oh yeah,
really flirtatious with one another.
Yes, they look very uncomfortable sitting next to each other. They're trying really hard to make it work. I think it's just not working.
Commendable effort.
Yes. And Will comes into the lunchroom and he doesn't know who to sit with because he used to always sit with Emma and now he's not sure if he should. Right. But he does end up sitting with Emma and Ken. And this is when, Sue doesn't come in yet. So Emma starts talking about how she likes watching local news. And Ken makes a point that she likes watching the local news because she has like her fear and anxiety combined with her like interest in scary stuff makes her feel like watching the news is safe because she can do it from the comfort of her condo, is what he says.
Right. And it's so insightful of Ken.
Yes. It's like, very like
Ken could have had a career as a social worker.
Yeah. Or like, he could have done like psychology kind of stuff. Like, I feel like he could have been a good therapist maybe.
Yeah. And he gives a very respectful, concise, calm and like well thought out description of what Emma is going through. Yes. And it makes Emma so uncomfortable.
Yes, it does. Well, anytime anyone mentions her struggling or mental illness or anything, she gets uncomfortable because she's in super denial about it. Yeah. So she's talking about watching the local news and she's trying to tell Will that something interesting happened. And what happened was Sue Sylvester, the cheerleading coach, was on the news.
She is now a new nighttime correspondent on the local news channel. And she has her own show where she just basically spews offensive stuff, comes up with a punchline, and then says, and that's how Sue sees it.
Which is Sue's Corner.
I love Sue's Corner.
Hysterical. And at that moment, like when they're talking about Sue's Corner, Sue comes into the lunchroom and is talking about getting a job. I'm a little confused about this whole scene.
I am too. All I know is that she throws around like a bunch of like, I'm a nighttime news celebrity jargon. To make Will and everyone else uncomfortable.
She'll say something and be like, and that means that like she's Sue-splaining everything to them.
Exactly. Oh gosh, it's so funny. I love
she also calls Emma Alma.
Yep, I'm about to add that to the list. I just opened up the document. Alma.
She calls her Alma,
which is so funny.
Yes, I love that. That's pretty much the end of the lunchroom scene. We then move on to choir room rehearsal. And some drama is ensuing, and it's wonderful. I love seeing Rachel just get what's coming to her. Don't you?
It's so good.
It makes me happy.
The thing about Rachel is, as much as I don't like her, she always has, like, everyone else doesn't like her too. That wasn't a sentence. Yes. But you know what I mean. No one else is really with her BS either. So she gets moments like these where characters literally, like, verbally assault her. And it's so great. Like, they're so aggressive. I love it.
Well, so she doesn't, like, I don't remember anybody getting super mad at her in this scene, but so they're doing, is it West Side Story?
Yes.
And she wants to play Maria.
Yes.
And the part that Will hands her is an alto part because she doesn't get the part of Maria, and she's very sad about it. And the part goes to Tina. And Will's trying to say, like, well, you can't always have the solo. We're not going to have a very strong team if you're always doing the solo. You should be excited for Tina. And Rachel's pretty much like, I respect Tina enough to tell her that, like, she's not vocally like as vocally strong enough to do this or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Rachel storms out of the room because if she doesn't get it her way, then she doesn't want it all.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it. I love that she doesn't get the part. It makes me happy.
Me too. I also think it's really funny that Rachel Berry, a very Jewish character, very white,
yes.
is demanding that she plays the role of a Latina woman. Yes. Yeah. And she consistently will do this for the rest of the show. Like,
well, also, I think she makes a point about being Jewish and playing Maria. She makes a comment about it.
Is it in this episode?
It was in this episode.
Okay.
She makes a comment about it. And I don't know a lot about West Side Story, but was the actress who played Maria on like some show also Jewish? Does that ring a bell?
Don't know. Let me double check. But I do, like, do you know the plot of West Side Story at all?
I know a little bit of it, but only for Riverdale.
I'll give a like lightning round synopsis of the show.
I'm ready.
It's Romeo and Juliet. Okay. I need to know Sharks versus Jets. Sharks versus Jets. So I don't get them mixed up. But basically there is, it's in New York City. Yes. And there is a Latino population in New York City. Mm-hmm. It's on the rise. And then there's the traditional like Italian New Yorker population, and they both have gangs.
Yeah.
So I don't care about football. I don't know what the Sharks and the Jets are in football. So the Jets are the white gang, and the Latino gang is the Jets. Nope, the Sharks.
Oh got it. No, sorry. You're okay.
They're from Puerto Rico, so they're Puerto Rican.
Got it.
And basically, Tony is a Jet. Maria is a sister of a Shark.
Got it.
They fall in love.
So that makes Mercedes' joke about being a Jet even funnier because she gets cast as a Jet, which that's hilarious now.
I know. It's so good.
I bet Will is someone who says, I'm colorblind. I don't see color.
He's just like, in those moments, that's like a mostly white school doing Hairspray type of energy.
Yeah.
Like, are you sure that this is even remotely ethical of you? No.
I did Hairspray when I was in, I think, 4th grade at a local dance studio. We did there was a musical theater class that I signed up for, and they just do like a mashup of one musical into like a 6-minute thing. And then at the end of the year, when you do like the big showcase, that's what we did as our dance, where everyone else did like to one song. We did like a mashup of songs from a musical. Mm-hmm. And I played Penny's mom because I was one of the older kids. So that's the role that I played.
That's so funny.
But there was only 2 boys in the class. One boy was white. One boy was, I think he was South Asian. Mm-hmm. And so they cast the South Asian boy as Seaweed and the white guy as Link. Those are the only 2 boys in the show. And then I just remember thinking, who are they going to pick to play Tracy? Because size was such a big deal to me when I was in 4th grade, and I was terrified that they were going to pick me. They picked the girl who was like the best dancer to play Tracy, which they kind of like cut out the part about her being a bigger girl for our production. It was just about her like wanting to be a dancer. But I just remember like, oh my God, this is scary. Hairspray, I feel like, I don't know.
Hairspray is a feel-good musical for me for sure. Mm-hmm. But I feel like, I don't know how much it holds up.
My sister and I reenacted the entire musical with our Webkins in 5th grade.
That's incredible.
Shot for shot, we recorded it.
I love that so much. Yeah. It's a very important musical. But anyways.
That was a long sidetrack. Okay. So Artie says, because Rachel storms out of the choir room, and he goes, the more time she storms out of rehearsal, the less impact it has.
Yes. That's what I meant by them like giving it right back to her. Is that Artie has this passive aggressive line that is so
I love him. That's
accurate.
like the only thing he says in this entire episode. Mm-hmm. He's wonderful though.
This is like one of, maybe it's the only scene. Are there 2 scenes with the Glee Club that we see all the Glee Club together?
Yeah, there's another one when the Glee Club gets some new members later.
Yes, Yes, but then
I
other than
also
that, there's not
realized
many.
just now that Artie kind of has some Jackson features.
That's funny. Because didn't Sydney say in the first episode he looked like an ex-boyfriend of hers?
No, that's Finn.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Finn looks like one of Sydney's ex-boyfriends. Sydney
no.
and I have very different types.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh no.
No.
That's funny though.
Not an oh no. I remember one time Sydney and I were at the gym together. There's gonna be a lot of sidetrack, but I kind of like that.
Yeah,
like
it's fun.
Not sticking to it. It's more
exactly.
fun.
People
More
want to know
conversational.
about our lives.
Yeah,
too.
I'm sure if they're listening, they're interested. I remember one time before COVID, everything, my sister and I went to the gym together, and she's always loved working out. She's really into that because it helps her a lot with mental health stuff. And so she was like teaching me some different workout stuff I could do. And there's these two guys who are working out together. One of them looks more athletic. He looks more like Finn, you would say. He's much taller. He's wearing like typical gym bro type of clothes. And then the other guy is wearing just like basketball shorts, big t-shirt. He's got glasses. He's got messy hair. He's shorter. He's a little bit on the bigger side, and we're like looking at the two of them together. And I'm like, oh my God, he's so cute. And like, we're like fangirling over these two boys. And she's like, I know, he's so tall. And I was like, he doesn't look that tall. She's like, oh, you're talking about the other guy.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I love that. That's
It was fun.
So cute.
Jackson does not listen to this podcast, so he will not know that I was fangirling about a guy.
It's all right. Greg doesn't listen to it either. He still, I don't know, necessarily has acknowledged that I have a podcast on the internet, but that's okay. He doesn't need
I just found out that Jackson occasionally watches my YouTube videos. He says only the ones that are short, though.
That's funny. I used to send all of mine to Greg when I first started my channel, and now I'm like, I posted a video and someone commented, and he's like, good, and I'm like, all right.
Yeah, we don't really talk about it that much, and sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, I just need to finish editing a video, and then we can like call. And sometimes he'll be like, oh, what's it about? Right. And I'm like, oh, it's just like a vlog. And he's like, about what? And I was like, my day? Like, I don't know what to tell you.
A themed vlog.
A theme. Okay. So yeah, we're post choir practice, and Kurt goes up to Finn and asks him for a favor. And Finn is the cutest thing ever. And he says, I already have a date to the dance. I'm sorry. Like, he considered it. Like, if he didn't have a date, he could have taken Kurt, which is the sweetest thing in the entire world.
It really is.
And it's so sweet. And then he tells Finn, like, it's not on scene, but we can figure that he's telling him about needing to be on the football team because his dad wants to come see him be the kicker. So now we are at practice on the field. Since I don't know if you are okay with me keeping going, since you don't have your notes in front of you.
That's okay. I have a synopsis, and I'm like prepared for a lot of the scenes, but I am okay with you as long as you don't mind. Like,
I don't mind. I just don't want you to feel like I'm talking over you at all.
No, that's okay. I promise I'll be more prepared for the next one.
No, it's okay. I just don't want you to feel like I'm taking space up from you.
You're good.
Okay. So they're on the field for practice, and they're like watching all of the guys like roll around and tumble around while they're exercising and everything, practicing, warming up. And Kurt goes in front of the whole group. He goes, hi, I'm Kurt Hummel, and I'll be auditioning for the role of kicker. And it's the sweetest thing ever. Basically, their current kicker is just not that good. Their team in general is not that good, and they haven't won any games.
His stats are like 0 for 12.
Yes.
You know?
And so he is getting ready to show his skills at being a kicker, and he's going to go turn on some music, is what he says. And Finn's like, hold up, you can't do that. That was only when we were practicing earlier, which means that the two of them were hanging out, practicing Kurt's kick before practice.
Yes.
Which I don't understand why we didn't. I mean, I get why we didn't get that scene, because we want the surprise of the music and the kick in front of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But it is so pure. I just
I
needed
want
to point
that
it out.
scene. I would have watched 3-hour episodes of Glee if it meant that I could have all these little cute in-between scenes.
No.
Like, this is the beginning of an iconic friendship. An absolutely iconic, seasons-long friendship between these two.
Yeah.
And
It's
we only get a
wonderful.
little bit of it, but it's very sweet.
Yeah. Well, and I love the way that he always sticks up for him, and like Finn is just the sweetest character ever.
He is a good guy.
So Kurt turns on the Single Ladies song, and he kind of dances up to the ball to like do the kickoff, and he kills it and does an amazing job. And they're very excited that they now have a chance of winning, which is a big deal.
Yes. So. It speaks for it a lot, too, because they're, like, at the very end of their season. Mm-hmm. Or at least that's what we're supposed to assume, when in actuality, the season's going to go on for way longer than a normal football season does, until, like, episode 10. Anyways, not important. So they can't really win the section or anything. Mm-hmm. But they can win one game. And that's all that they want.
Yes, it's so good. So the next scene is someone coming into Sue's office, talking to Sue about her position. I'm a little confused about it, but she's signing like photos of herself because she's on TV now. And she is talking about being pro-littering.
She's just taking stances, I think. Yeah,
just for anything. She does make a great comment. A super racist comment. That about paying, like, she still pays taxes so that garbage men can afford to buy tacos for their families.
Oh, yes, she does. She says that on TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes I wonder, like, I said, how many times do these jokes, like, how many people do these jokes go through before they get approved, you know?
I don't know, but this is definitely one that wouldn't have made it through that process today. I don't think it should have made it through the process then. Like, it's one of the few that made me genuinely kind of angry, you know? But she does say that, and she says it in front of a WOHN executive who comes to visit her.
Yes.
And the executive is here to, like, talk to her about his fear over the show being successful, or Sue's segment being successful. Because his daughter goes to McKinley, and his daughter says that a lot of people are going from the Cheerios to this new choir thing, and that if Sue wants to be reputable, she has to win nationals.
Which is so stupid.
I agree.
Because that should have nothing to do with her being on TV.
No.
They just need another factor for Sue to hate the Glee Club. I feel like that scene was really stupid, and they didn't need it for the episode to make sense. Like, I think it makes less sense that it exists.
This is one of the, like, so there's, like, 3 main storylines in this episode. There is the, oh, my brother's coming. Do you want to say hi to my brother?
Hello, brother.
Want to wave?
Oh, wait, is this your podcast?
Yeah, this is my podcast.
This is live?
No, it's not live.
No, it's not live. Does he have any thoughts about Glee?
Ryan, do you have any thoughts about Glee?
Huh?
Do you have any thoughts about Glee?
It's very musically.
It's very musically.
Well, you know, that is correct. So, I saw this post the other day. It's like, no matter how many of you get famous on TikTok, you're still on Musical.ly. It made me so happy. It's like, I see people like lip syncing on TikTok and getting millions of like views for Thirst Trap and stuff, but you're still just on Musical.ly.
Yeah.
And it made me laugh.
That's a fact.
So, yeah, there's a lot of storylines in this episode.
Yes.
You've got Kurt, you've got Sue, you've got Quinn, which is about to come up now. And then you have Rachel's storyline, which I feel like is the first time her storyline is, like, at the back burner.
Yeah, and I think that Sue's and Rachel's kind of go together. We're about to find out how. But the only two that I'm really, truly interested in, I mean, the other two are funny, are Kurt's and Quinn's.
Those
and the
are
other ones genuinely just exist to fill space.
Yes, and also just to like keep us updated with the characters, I think. because they need to be in every episode, right? Because those are two big characters,
Yeah,
Rachel and Sue.
definitely.
So the next scene is Finn and Quinn.
Yes, Quinn. Can I explain this one
Yes.
for fun? Okay. So Quinn is walking down the hallway in front of Finn, like running at this point, speed walking, running, trying to get away from him. And she's visibly upset, like very, very distraught. And Finn is like, why isn't my girlfriend talking to me? So he kind of like corners her a little bit and he's like, Quinn, like whatever it is I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. And Quinn, they have such similar names, it kills me.
Kurt and Bert.
Finn,
Quinn and Quinn.
But Quinn just comes straight out and says, I'm pregnant. And then like Finn, sweet baby Finn, is like, how? We never.
He goes, is it mine?
And then
we
Quinn's
never had sex.
who else's would it be?
Yeah, because she's a virgin, obviously.
The president of celibacy.
I know.
But Quinn explains that it happened when they were making out in the hot tub, and Finn didn't think of the mailman fast enough, and dealt with some premature ejaculation. And according to, isn't it Ask Jeeves?
Yes, the hot tub is the perfect temperature for sperm. It helps them swim faster.
So Finn buys this fully. He's like, oh my God, I got my girlfriend pregnant. We were just kissing in the hot tub. It's like immaculate conception.
Not only did Finn buy it, but 12-year-old Charley bought it and genuinely thought that Finn was the father and did not get in a hot tub with a boy for 3 years.
Oh my God.
Because I did not want to get pregnant, because I thought that that's actually how babies were made. Because if you've listened to previous episodes, I did not have sex education until senior year of high school.
That's so funny. This just really does speak to the need for better sex ed, though.
Oh, truly.
Like, mandatory sex education in my high school, even, I didn't have it until junior, senior year is when we were taught like district-wide sex ed. I had it in middle school sixth grade actually fourth grade from Montessori.
Yes.
But
in California, it's fourth grade, you like have basic sex ed where it's like, this is how babies are made. And this is what a period is. Girls get the period part. Boys don't get anything about that. And then everybody gets like the basic, this is how babies are made. Here's a mini deodorant. Here's what puberty is essentially. And then that's in fourth grade. Sixth grade is like a little bit more. I didn't get any of this though, because
you were
I think it's
homeschooled,
seventh grade, because I was homeschooled. And then in 10th grade, you have to do biology. And in biology, they split up by gender. The guys have to do a packet and the girls have to do a packet. And you can do the opposite gender's packet for extra credit, but you're not required to. And that's about like reproductive organs, and you have to like fill out a chart and everything. And then at some point during high school, there's another sex ed, which is the one that I did when I was in 12th grade, but it's optional and your parents decide if you take it or not.
I have a lot of problems with that.
Yeah, so do I.
So I had full blown sex ed in fourth grade.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Like it was after school. My parents came with me, one of them, twice a week for 4 weeks. And it was called Growing Side by Side, and your parents signed you up for it. It was elective completely, but the teachers would come back at like from 6 to 8, and they would give like in depth. They'd split parents up. They'd split with the kids, and they never separated the genders, which was really cool. Well, they did it a couple times just so like that we could ask questions in case we didn't want the opposite gender knowing what we wanted to ask, which was good of them because they made sure to keep us comfortable. But it was so informative. I learned so much. Even like there's things that I remember now that I wasn't taught in high school. And in New York, you take health. I think it's actually district by district, but I took it in 11th or 12th grade. It should be like 9th or 10th.
Yeah, and when I say California, I just mean like my county. Like I don't know all of California, but I definitely know for my area, and all of my friends who've grown up in California, their experience is the same. Except mine was different just because I was homeschooled. Like when I was in fourth grade, my mom just gave me some books to read because I just didn't want to listen to her talk about it because I was really squeamish about like hearing about stuff like that.
That's fair.
And she made us watch the movie The Miracle of Life.
Yep, that's what we watched in biology in 10th grade.
Yeah, we watched that, I think, when I think my sister was 8 and I was 10, and we watched it. And my sister like asked my mom questions, but I was like, I'm out of here. I'm not like, I don't want to know any more about what's going on.
Right.
Which is why I thought that Finn actually got Quinn pregnant just by being in a hot tub together. No, but I definitely did not get in a hot tub with guys for like 3 years. Like it wasn't until partway through high school that a friend told me that it was safe.
I don't think I've ever been in a hot tub with a guy. Side note, like that's not why. Just don't think I've ever
I
been in
had
a
a
hot tub with
friend
guy.
in like early middle school. I was friends with a girl who really liked to have boy girl parties. Because it was like right when we started high school, she was always excited to have a boy girl party, and she had a pool and a hot tub, and then in their parents' basement there was like a ping pong table and stuff. So it was like super fun to have boy girl parties there, and we would all like hang out in the hot tub together sometimes, except for me. I'd never get in the hot tub because I didn't want to have a baby. I remember telling one of my friends, they're like, are you sure you want to get in the hot tub with them? She's like, yeah, it's fine. I was like, are you sure? Like you're willing to risk it just to sit next to this stinky boy?
That's
all
so
right.
funny. I love it. But yeah, that's that scene.
So now Sue is visiting Sue is visiting Sandy's house, and Sandy collects porcelain dolls,
which is not at all creepy at all.
No.
You skipped over a very important part.
Sue's trying to blackmail Figgins.
But I want to go back to where Sandy's house is, because this is my fun fact.
Yes.
Are you ready for this?
Yes.
First of all, this is going to get a little dark. So if you're like sensitive to serial killer topics, skip 3 minutes ahead, we'll say.
Okay.
So at some point in the house, Sue makes a joke. She said something about rotting lime covered bodies.
Yes, under the floorboards.
Under the floorboards.
She's like, the only thing you're missing is rotting bodies under the floorboards.
And that is because she is making a reference to the Midwest serial killer, John Wayne Gacy, aka the creepy clown.
Oh.
So, right. I'm smiling through all of this because I think it's so witty of the writers, but it's actually super dark. If you don't know the story, My Favorite Murder did a great podcast episode on it, and go listen to it. If you like true crime.
I wish I could handle stuff like that. It just makes me feel like I'm gonna barf.
I can handle it because the two of them, like Karen and Georgia, are just the most lovable, bubbly, sweet people. Well, Karen's not, but like the dynamic works. The dynamic works really well. But basically, he was known for, let me know if you don't want me to talk like in detail.
Maybe just a brief explanation.
Okay, yeah. He's the one that was known for having a map of where he kept his like victims in his home. He covered them with lime, and that's how he got caught, because somebody caught him buying tons and tons and tons of lime to cover the bodies
covering them with lime? Like
not lime, no. Like the mineral powder.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. So that's a John Wayne Gacy reference.
Wow.
It's very creative of them. But yeah, that's my fun fact.
So, because Sue is worried about getting kicked off of her TV show, and she really needs the Cheerios to win whatever they're trying to win, she needs Sandy to come back to mix things up and destroy the Glee Club. So she talks to Figgins, and Figgins is like, hell no, I'm not letting that guy back into our campus. He's a creep. And so she's trying to blackmail Figgins.
She is.
Where did it go? Oh, Figgins was in an ad for Mumbai Air. And the background music in this ad is actually from Just Dance 3.
Really?
I think it's Just Dance 3 because that's the one that I had, and I definitely remember dancing to that song.
Do you remember the dance? Would you like to give us an
absolutely
example?
Not. I do not remember the dance. I did a lot of observation with Just Dance 3, not a ton of dancing.
Gotcha.
So Sue wants Sandy to come back to a Glee Club, and they have decided that the way that they're going to infiltrate Glee Club is to get Rachel out of Glee Club and into a Celine Dion showcase, it seems like. I'm a little confused.
They're putting on Cabaret. It's a musical that famously starred Celine Dion.
Got it. Yeah. And so Rachel has kind of got one foot out the door. I need to go turn on my bedroom light.
Okay.
So we finally get to hear Tina sing, and she has a great voice. She's lovely. She has a hard time at the end, like her high note is a little hard to get, but she still has a great voice.
Yes, but she's convinced that she did a terrible job, and basically says to Will, like, give the solo to Rachel. You know she'll quit if you don't.
Yes.
And then leaves.
And she's like, I'll take one for the team.
Right.
Right as she leaves, Finn shows up and just bursts into tears.
He like has this very emotional, beautiful crying moment with Mr. Schuester and Will.
It's so sweet.
Will. Yeah, and they hug, and then they go to a restaurant together.
Will takes him out for lunch,
which is so cute.
So sweet.
I die.
So he tells Mr. Shu about Quinn being pregnant, and he tells Will, like, I know the guys who had kids or in high school that are in this town, and they work at like mini marts and pumping gas, and that's not what I want for my life. I want to go to college. He's like, but I can't go to college unless I get a football scholarship, and we are not doing well in football right now. Mm-hmm. And then he pulls out this book, which he says that he got from the library, and he goes, did you know, Mr. Shu, that you can just borrow books from there whenever you want, except for the encyclopedia, but everything else you can just borrow whenever you want.
I love Finn.
So cute. Essentially the book is a story about a football player who also danced and did like ballet, and it really helps with his performance on the field. And so he essentially asks Mr. Shu to teach the football team how to dance, to try to loosen them up and try something different, which is very insightful and sweet and cute, and I love it.
It is so good.
That team.
Yes. And then, okay, so next what we get is, we get the teeth brushing scene with Will and Terry. And Will and Terry are brushing their teeth, and Will's basically explaining to Terry what happened at school. So Quinn is pregnant, and Terry is like, oh, she is now, is she?
She's got a baby.
What did you say her name was? And the thing that kills me about the scene is whenever Terry stops brushing her teeth, she's like, what? Like,
her eyes are like ping pong balls.
Oh, it's so funny. I love the actress that plays Terry is brilliant.
She's so good. I also think it's kind of weird that Mr. Shu says her first and last name.
Yeah.
Like, it seems a little weird.
I agree, especially because it definitely reads to me like Terry's prying for information.
Well, that's what I think if I was Will, I don't know if I'd pick up on that, because it seems a little weird that she'd ask for her full name, you know?
Yeah, I agree. But that being said, like, at the same time, it's small town Ohio. Somebody might know somebody. I don't know. So, but it gives Terry this idea, and she's like, a baby that doesn't necessarily have a guaranteed home. A baby I could have.
Yes.
So we get that. And then we go to a completely opposite scene where we get like Puck. And is it in the dressing room where they're all talking?
They're in the locker room.
Dressing room. In the locker room with Ken like up at the front trying to explain what's going on. And Mr. Schuester is going to teach them how to dance.
Yes.
And nobody wants to do it. Spoiler alert.
Nobody wants to, but Ken is like, I'm down for it. The only person that's actually scored on this team is Kurt, and he's dancing. So maybe we should give it a try.
Right. So they do.
Yes. And after this scene, so they're dancing in the choir room together to practice, and Kurt is leading the way to kind of demonstrate. And after they're done, Finn tells Puck that Quinn is pregnant. And he tells her because Puck is pressuring him and is making jokes about Finn and Kurt being together because they've been hanging out more. And so Finn finally tells Puck that Quinn is pregnant.
Yep. And Puck has a heart attack because he knows something Finn does not.
Yes.
And
yes.
Some funny business occurred.
Yes. So he approaches Quinn and calls her a MILF.
Mm-hmm. That's so disgusting. Like, I would be mortified if I was Quinn.
Yeah. There's a couple moments with Quinn where I just I don't know. It was this episode that I really fell for Quinn, and she became one of my favorite characters, I think, this episode. Especially the first time watching and again now. Like, I just really love her. So we find out that Puck is actually the father of Quinn's baby.
Most definitely. She did not get pregnant in the hot tub, and she knows it.
Yes, he's the only person that she's ever had sex with because, and she knows she lied to Finn about the hot tub because she doesn't want anyone to know that she cheated on him.
Right, but and we learned a very important point too, that like this bothers me because like listening to it back, I don't know how I would have received it if I wasn't 12 years old the first time I watched.
Yeah.
We learned that it wasn't necessarily consensual.
Yes. She says that she was drunk on wine coolers and she felt fat that day. And that's why she had sex with him. Which means that's
not consent.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like at the first time that I watched it, I just remember thinking that they cared about each other and like, I don't know, like, I mean, I didn't know what consent was at 12 years old. So, yeah, it feels a little weird this time watching it. And I think that it's also just like with most things about this show, it would not have been done the same way if it were done today. But
or if it was, it would have been like preceded with a trigger warning, or
even like the storyline between her and Puck later on would be very different. He would be much more characterized as a villain than he is later on.
Right.
Yeah, and she calls Puck a Lima loser. She runs away crying in the rain and goes to her car, and sitting in her car
is none other than
our Terry
Schuster.
Go take it away.
Okay, so Quinn is basically, she gets to her car. She is so emotional. It's raining. She's sobbing. Her head's on the steering wheel. And Terry says something from the other seat. I don't remember exactly what she says, but Terry is sitting in her passenger seat. Somehow she broke into Quinn's car.
How she knew it was Quinn's car is beyond me.
Exactly. Unless she went to like the principal and was like, "Hey, which car is registered under Quinn Fabre?" Because she knows. Or
maybe she just watched, like, figured out who was her and was stalking her. No matter how you slice it, it's creepy.
It's creepy, and basically, she just grills Quinn on all of the things that she's supposed to know about being a mom. Overwhelms her. She's like, "How far along are you? By the way, like, you look, I can't guess more than 4 or 5 weeks." And then she gives her prenatals, and she's just like, "Take these or the baby will be ugly."
She gives her prenatal vitamins and says 3 times a day or your baby will be ugly.
Yep. Which, first of all, you don't take prenatal vitamins 3 times a day. That's so much folic acid.
And I don't think it has anything to do with like the appearance of your child.
No, none at all. Basically, fun science fact, prenatal vitamins are full of folic acid, and folic acid, among the other things that are in prenatals, which is basically like a multivitamin plus some folic acid, is so that it decreases the risk of neural tube defects in the baby. So if you've heard of spina bifida, which is basically like when the baby is born and it looks like it kind of has like a little pouch, a red jelly filled pouch on his back, that's actually the spinal cord.
Oh,
so
interesting.
It can lead to some pretty severe other birth effects too, but that's one of the main ones that folic acid prevents, and that's why you take prenatal vitamins. The more you know. So basically, Terry is in the right by telling her to take prenatals, but that's the only thing that she's in the right with.
It's a little uncomfy.
It's very uncomfy.
Next up, we are at the football game.
Yay.
Football.
We learn things. The football game, they're losing. They're losing very badly.
Yes.
There's like 12 seconds left in the game.
Yeah.
They run a play, and then there's 2 seconds left in the game, and they still haven't pulled out all the stops for the single ladies yet.
Yes.
So Finn calls a timeout, and he's like, guys, we got to do it. We got to do the dance. And the other football team is being really aggressive, like yo mama jokes, all of the typical, stereotypical, like toxic masculine high school things.
Yeah. Yo mama jokes were so big at the time too. Anyway, so Finn is trying to get Puck to do the single ladies, but he's got to do it. And one of the guys from the other team makes a yo mama joke to Puck, and Puck's like, "Actually, dude, I slept with your mom after I cleaned your pool. Nice Star Wars sheets, by the way, which
Mhm.
that part actually made me laugh. I thought that was funny.
I know. It was funny if it wasn't pedophilia.
True. Very true.
Still funny.
Yes. I just like out of the two options of the yo mama jokes and like the I fucked your mom jokes, I
Mhm.
fucked your mom jokes win every time.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree on that one.
I don't know. They're funny to me.
I agree.
I enjoy them. So after that joke that Puck makes, he's like, you know what? Let's do it. Like, we've got nothing else to lose. And Finn makes that point too. And Puck's like, we're going to look like losers. We're going to look so stupid. And Finn's like, we already look stupid. Like, we already look like losers. Like, why don't we just do it? So they do the single ladies dance on the field.
And I can't tell you much about football at all. I literally have no knowledge of the sport other than my city has quite possibly one of the worst teams in the NFL. I'm sorry, Bills Mafia. I don't care. I love the Bills. But anyways,
I know
I can tell you
literally nothing about football other than my mom played in high school. She was the
incredible.
only girl on the team.
I know that I love drum lines and I love marching bands. But
Same. I also love cheerleaders.
Yes.
The only reason I went to sports games at school and in high school was the cheerleaders.
That's so good. But this is not a legal pass or play or whatever.
No.
There's no way. They have 2 seconds left on the clock. The clock doesn't stop when they start a play. It stops when they end a play.
There's a lot of questions. Also, the play that they end up playing after the dance is way longer than 2 seconds, even if it wasn't in slow-mo.
Exactly. And also, the ball is just sitting on the ground the entire time. No one is like, maybe we should go pick up the ball while they do dance.
I don't think the writers of Glee were very concerned with their audience knowing a lot of sports information.
Which is fine because the first time through is absolutely hysterical. The second time, you're like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
But they basically score a touchdown.
They do. And now both teams are tied.
Yes.
So Kurt, I don't know how this works, but they've tied. So now Kurt is going to try to make another point by kicking the ball.
For the field goal.
Yes. So he turns on his song again.
Mm-hmm.
And he is a great kicker. And they end up winning.
Mm-hmm. Everyone cheers.
And one of my favorite parts of the whole episode is Bert, Kurt's dad, in the audience saying, "That's my boy."
Mm-hmm.
Very sweet. He's very excited.
Bert shows up at the very end of the game too.
Yes.
He's looking at his son before any of this happens, and he's just like, wow, he's so small. He's so small.
Yeah.
And expressing it's not, I don't know, it's a weird moment where I get kind of melancholy because I'm just like, I see this dynamic between this typical American dad and what he thought his son would be, and him seeing his son for exactly who he is in the shoes that he wished a son would be. And he's like, oh man, this isn't his element at all.
Yeah.
And then he makes the shot or kick or whatever it is.
We are not sports people.
No, I don't do sports.
No.
But he's so proud. And but it's also a moment where he realizes he doesn't need his son to be this person that he thought he might be when he was born. It's sweet.
Before we go back to Bert and Kurt, there's one brief moment of after they win, Finn and Quinn kissing each other, and Puck is looking at them
that hurt me a little bit.
It does, because there's a part of me that really wants Puck and Quinn to work pre understanding of consent in their relationship and everything. But there's also a part of me that's hurting for Finn because he doesn't know what's going on and he thinks he's going to be a dad and all of this.
Right.
There's a lot of stress on him right now that isn't his stress to be worrying about. And it just he's the sweetest thing ever. And he's going through so much stuff that's not even his stuff. It's not for him to worry about.
Yeah, I agree. It's Puck made the biggest mistake.
Of course.
But Quinn also made a mistake in not coming clean when she knew who the father was.
Yes.
it unnecessarily hurt Finn when
Mhm.
Finn, knowing that Quinn had cheated on him, probably would have been less emotionally draining.
Yes.
Realizing
Well, even if, especially if she explained the situation too, of it being more of a pressuring situation.
right. And that's what we have knowledge of it being as viewers.
That's what it
based on how they
sounds
wrote
like,
the
yeah.
show. So yeah, it's big yikes.
Going back to Bert and Kurt now, they're home. Kurt is doing his post-game ritual, which is his skincare routine. That's what he tells his dad he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
And he tells his dad tells him that he's proud of him. And Kurt's like, Dad, I want to tell you something. I'm so happy that you're proud of me. And I just want to tell, and then he tells his dad that he's gay. It's like, as someone who's come out to their family before, is the best feeling to hear them say, I know, because like, it's not a shock. It's not like a big deal. He's like, I know, I've known since you were 3 and all you wanted for your birthday was a pair of sensible heels.
Which
and
is such a good birthday gift. Like,
yeah,
I'm a
right?
whole 20, almost 1-year-old person, and I don't have a pair of sensible heels.
I don't have a single pair of heels.
It's like I have sneakers and completely unsensible heels.
Yes.
The least sensible heels. So like, good for you, Kurt.
It's very sweet. And I think something that's important is like also to say is like his dad even says like, I'm not totally okay with this, but I love you no matter what, which is like, I think that's honestly a fair answer for someone who is like, I mean, there's no excuse for homophobia, obviously, but especially someone who maybe it's like never met a gay person before.
Right.
There's a lot of like stigma around gay people, like realizing that they're normal people, like it can take like a minute to adjust to, and like it's not, and I think part of the reason that he says that he's not super cool with it is like what you were saying before of him like having an idea of what he thought his son was going to be. And like, I don't know, I have said this to many friends of mine, but like if you want to be a parent, you can't have any expectations of your kid at all, which is why gender reveals are stupid.
I agree. I got invited to one the other week and I was like, do I have to go to, like, I'm not going to this.
I've had some thoughts about what I would do, and like if I was to throw a gender reveal and just have like the confetti that come out just be rainbow, and like the whole theme of it is like whatever a kid is, it's their choice, not ours, like something along the lines of that. But
I love
gender reveal parties are stupid.
I fully agree. I like, why not just have an I'm having a baby party?
Yeah.
Or like a name reveal.
Show? Yeah, name reveals would be so much more fun.
For real. And even if you have like a different name depending on what like gender or sex the child ends up being, you can reveal both names.
Yeah.
It's like our child is either going to be Jennifer or Randall. I don't know.
Randall. So my 2 names that I was going to be is obviously, as I was born as, I don't know, I guess the female sex and gender as I identify. And so Charley, right? If I was a boy, identified as a boy at birth, I was going to be Riley. So
that's crazy.
I know. And so well, I also love how they're both gender neutral names, but my parents couldn't be like, well, if it's a boy, we can also name it Charley.
They were like, no, we need 2 names.
No, it's different. My sister was going to be Sydney or Sawyer.
I love Sawyer. That's such a good name.
Sawyer's cute.
I think Sawyer's also a gender neutral name.
Yeah. All of the names they picked were gender neutral. It's because my mom's name is pretty, like, it's hyper feminine, I guess. Like, it's Tiffany, which is like breakfast
That's a very
at Tiffany's.
feminine name.
And I mean, she played football. She was like a football player in high school and was like rejected a lot of like feminine stereotypes and things. And so she was like, my kids are getting gender neutral names.
I love that, honest to goodness.
I love gender neutral names too.
Yeah, I like, but I thought that this scene might not even, I didn't necessarily watch it as like some sort of like subtle, not like homophobia, but like adjustment. No. I even saw it as like, think about when your parents knew you were in a relationship with a person for the first time.
It's
my
like
parents
hard
weren't
to see your
crazy
kid
about it.
grow up. Yeah.
I was 14 and dating like my best friend from middle school, and my parents were like, "What is this, Riley?"
Yeah.
You know?
It feels weird to see
Yeah.
a kid in an identity that you weren't ready for yet, or like weren't expecting. I only bring up like the other bit because I think that it can be like seen that way as him like not being accepting of gay people, and I don't think that's true. I think that he just doesn't have enough experience to like know how to act around people yet, because I can definitely see in his lifetime there's been a lot of like gay rights changes in his world, you know, and like there's a lot of influence, especially probably in the Midwest and in his profession and gender and everything, on how he views people. So
no, I think it's good that you brought it up, because I think that's probably what they intended with the show. But I think it's cool that they left it so open-ended, because they left it up to the interpretation of the viewer. So
Finn and Quinn are talking, and Finn wants to be a really good dad. He brings his childhood blanket to Quinn, and it's like, I want our baby to have it. Like, I'm going to do everything I can to be a good dad. Puck shows up, and he is an asshole to Quinn. He like makes a bunch of jokes about her gaining weight, about not being able to like be.
He's trying to get to her and make her realize that she's making a mistake.
Yes.
Not his place.
No. And Finn stands up for Quinn, obviously, and tells him to like back off, which is good. But like you just see how hurt Quinn is in this scene, especially, and it's like so sad.
Yeah, especially knowing what we know about consent. Like, she's probably so confused.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if I was in her situation, like there's part of me that thinks that I would probably lie to Finn too.
Yeah, because I would be like, think
if
about
you were,
and
like scared. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
she
and
seems kind of scared
at
of
the
Puck.
time too. Like, it wasn't as normal as it is now. Like, not to say that it was supposed to ever not be normal, but like to talk about consent and like to have those conversations.
Well, that and also like
know.
she's a sophomore in high school too. She's super young.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
So like
how young they are.
Because they're cast as like 20-year-olds.
Like, how do you have? I don't even know how I would go about having those conversations. How do you have a baby when you're a baby yourself? Exactly. And we know Quinn is like, she's definitely going to keep the baby, so she's scared.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't have a choice. Like, she feels like she doesn't have a choice. It's hard.
It's really sad.
Yeah. But Finn gives her his Gigi, which is so cute. And I love really that part. It's really sweet. Like, it made my heart hurt a little bit, because I'm like, oh baby, you have no idea what's happening right now.
I know.
But it's really sweet of him.
Rachel has quit Glee Club. And that's like the end of that storyline, essentially. And then there's a line from Sue during her segment where she says, I often yell at homeless people and say, hey, how's that homelessness working out for you? That's what Sue says. And then the episode ends with her saying, and that's how Sue sees it. And the last shot we get is of Quinn crying at her locker. And that's the end of the episode.
Yeah. It's a very tumultuous episode watching back.
I mean, after our last episode where not a whole lot happened, this one is like packed. Yeah. This one has a lot of info packed in it.
But it's like, it's info heavy, but it's not entertainment heavy necessarily.
Yeah,
like,
I mean, there's no like,
there's no
numbers.
I mean, we have two. I think we have like literally one that we can consider the best and one we can consider the worst, you know?
Yeah.
Did you pick?
Well, because there's Tina and versus Rachel, right? That's the only two options. Which would put Rachel at the best and Tina at the worst, because Tina's isn't as refined yet.
And I love Taking Chances, sung by Rachel. It's one of the few things in this show that I'd give Leah Michelle full, complete credit for. Is that she's got an amazing voice. She's so good at this. This particular song too gets me. Like, it's so good. Anyway, so best is Rachel, worst is Tina, but I still love Tina.
Oh yeah, Tina's was really good. Like, it was way better than her audition.
Yes, but pay attention to this one, because it's the last we'll hear from Tina solo wise until literally season 3.
Wow.
Right.
That's really sad.
It's crazy.
Another thing that I forgot to mention is that we do get 3 new members of the Glee Club. We get Puck. We get oh my god, what is his name?
Matt?
Well, there's Matt, and then there's the other guy.
Mike Chang.
Mike. I was gonna call him Matt, but the other guy is Matt.
Yeah.
Mike Chang. So we get 3 new guys, but Matt is like, he doesn't stay in for long.
He moves. He moves.
He moves. I don't really remember him, so.
Yeah, he has like a couple really nice moments, but then
Okay.
at least I think he sings like a song and then he leaves.
Okay.
But
And that is the episode.
yes, it was
That's
a good
pretty
one.
much it. Yeah, it gets the ball rolling.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Also, I want to start like a Quinn pregnancy tracker
Okay.
because she's literally pregnant for like 11 months. It's
Okay.
also like 7 months, depending on what scale you're going on. Because if you're going on like
Okay.
how long the show is running, it's like 11 months. If you're going by how
Yeah.
much time goes between when she gets pregnant, which is early in the school
When she
year,
gets
to
pregnant.
regionals, which is like March, she's pregnant for like
Mm-hmm.
not maybe 6 months. So there's a lot
Yeah.
to unpack.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we should start a Quinn
I'd love
pregnancy
to do that.
tracker. I'm gonna download an app. Oh my god, I'll download an app and I'll like get.
I'm so
I'll have
excited.
sizes for every episode.
I'm so like, Quinn's baby is a peach.
All right, I'm gonna do that for the
Please,
next
that'll be
episode.
so fun. I think that's everything.
Yeah, we did it.
We did it.
Shall we do the thing?
Yes, we shall do the thing.
All right.
Okay.
And
And
that's
that's
what you missed on Glee.
Glee. We'll get better at it.
We will. That was good.
Do